Hello and welcome to this Fast Track ESL CELPIP video tutorial. In this video, I'll be introducing the speaking section of the CELPIP test. Speaking is the last of the 4 skills and it takes about 20 minutes to complete. There are 8 tasks in total, and you need to speak into a microphone and record your response. This means there is no examiner on the other end, and your responses will be reviewed and scored at a later time. You will be given a short time to prepare for each task. This is often between 30 to 60 seconds, depending on the task. You will be told when to start, and the recording will stop whenever the time is over, even if you haven't finished speaking. A blue bar will show you how much time you have left. In the real test, the system will automatically move on to the next task, meaning there is no pause or break in between the tasks. This part of the test begins with a practice task. Use this opportunity to get warmed up and get to know the test environment a bit better. The speaking part of the CELPIP is believed by many students to be relatively more challenging because of the wide variety of tasks it includes. This is why it's so important to be prepared and get a lot of practice beforehand. You do not want to be surprised on the test day. The more predictable each task is for you, the more likely you are to perform well on it. As I mentioned before, the CELPIP speaking test has no examiner on the other end. This means you'll be speaking into a computer and won't receive any form of feedback at that moment. Many test takers find this uncomfortable because they're used to having someone in front of them, giving them some form of approval, such as a nod. Others prefer this format because they feel intimidated by the presence of an examiner who is critically evaluating their speaking and possibly focusing on their mistakes. Either way, you should try your best to get used to this format and emphasize its pros and downplay its cons. In short, try to develop a positive attitude. There are a number of simple things you can do to really boost your performance in the speaking section. First of all, don't speak too fast. Many students speak faster than they normally would once the recording begins. The fact that they're being recorded mentally forces them to rush through, and this causes problems with timing and accuracy. It also adds to the overall degree of anxiety that you may feel. Instead, you should try to speak a bit more slowly and relax to allow yourself to think and plan while you're speaking clearly and forming correct sentences with less pressure and anxiety. To master this process, I recommend you record your voice and listen to it again. Pay attention to how you perform differently when you're speaking at a different pace. Also, focus on your mistakes. Each test taker has a number of pronunciation and grammar mistakes which they often repeat in their speaking. By listening to yourself and identifying these mistakes, you can take an important step towards correcting them. This is where a good teacher can really help you by pointing out your mistakes and establishing a correct pattern for you to follow. I cannot emphasize the importance of planning enough. Although the tasks in CELPIP speaking are varied, they are all very predictable. You may not be able to predict the exact question itself, but you can easily predict what you're supposed to do. Focus on those patterns and plan your answer accordingly. Create a framework for your answer and follow that same structure for that particular section. This will greatly improve your score. Finally, fill your pauses with fillers. Everyone has pauses and hesitations when they speak. It's natural. But if you pay close attention to the way fluent speakers speak, you will notice that they use fillers. These words don't add any meaning to your sentence. They just fill in the gaps. Some fillers in English include, well, like, you see, you know, I guess, and I suppose. Use words like these to sound more fluent. In another video, I will explain how to use fillers in your speech in more detail. Anyway, as always, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to complete the quiz through the link provided in the description below.